signed off to continue going up the ranks
Chat favorite
without
ice cream.
having to ever really get in a crazy pursuit or get in these crazy calls, you know? I think that's the only thing is like most people really haven't actually seen
Yuki's amazing.
ICS
I fucking
being
love
used.
Lucas.
Because I think it's only ever happened once with me on duty. And I've been on duty quite a bit, you know?
100%. Lucas, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's to you? What's up, bro?
Be honest with me, and I'm gonna be blunt off the record, and even on the
Okay.
record. This is nothing official. There's no push for anything. I'm just curious. What's the highest rank you were? A while ago.
Officer, but I had the option for corporal, and I said no.
Would you ever want to be a senior?
Yeah, probably.
You show
changed my
qualities
mindset on that completely. I
You
used
show
to have full
qualities.
disregard for rank because, to be honest, a long time ago, rank kind of didn't achieve what is like in my mindset for what I would want it to achieve, you know? Like
Honestly,
I feel like if I'm
rank is kind of bullshit in my opinion. Like rank is
it
there for a
is like
reason.
the mindset.
I don't look at you when you got full officer when you were still a cadet. Have I treated you any differently?
No, of course not.
Because I look at you
But
as
I will
Lucas.
say in the
I don't
same
look
breath,
at you
Prof,
as
that some people are like that. We do have some bad eggs that do attach rank to everything.
That's
and
what I'm saying
I
though.
was a cadet and I would get like treated a little poorly, and I had to like clock the fucking and look you make them look stupid.
Yeah.
Just for the case of there's no way that you just tried doing that, right? Um, but no, I'm 100% open to it. If anything, this time around, like I actually want it, to be honest, especially with what I'm doing and how I feel like I am on
How do we
duty. It
think?
would only make sense
How do we feel, Chan, about
because
Lucas being pushed for
I'm sorry,
possibly
but
a
nothing is gonna
senior?
be able to get me to shut up. Like real shit. Like if someone like does stupid shit, like I'm clocking them as fuck. Whether that's in public or in private, that would depend, right?
The
Like
thing with you, Lucas, that I commend is you, under literally all circumstance, find your way to, like on that scene, the parallel fucked up a couple times. You noticed it, you saw it, and even as a lead on that scene, you flat out said, "Abso-fucking-lutely not. No, get the fuck over here. Do not leave me."
yeah.
That's the shit that we need, right? When it's time,
But because now they know for next time. They're
Yeah.
always gonna make sure that they're there. Obviously, if they had questions, I'd be more than willing to like open up that topic of why we do that and why
He
not.
talks so much.
Like,
Oh no,
in a
Lucas is
different
great.
scenario,
Lucas
that
does not
parallel
talk
could
as
have
much as
helped
I do.
in-
I can tell you
helped
that
with the foot
much.
pursuit, but we were 4, and you guys already
I'm
had
brewing
2.
potential here.
So 4 minus 2 equals 2. So splitting it even is like keeping someone else with me. You know?
Yeah. You get it. You get it.
I'm
gonna go and get the hell out of here.
know.
I'm gonna be honest, Lucas. I gotta get out of this PD.
Are you going to sleep?
No, I'm going back out. I gotta
sleep.
I gotta get on patrol. I gotta leave these walls. I am in this weird mindset.
You're stuck in MRPD.
I was stuck in here for a month. What do you mean? It was a whole month, Lucas.
I would be down to it. I'm not opposed to it, to be honest.
I gotcha. All good. I was just kind of curious. I think you do a lot for this PD, and I think that you do a lot as an officer, and I think you empower others, which is so important.
Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm going back on patrol. I gotta leave. Not clock off. Just leave these walls.
No, you're good. I got it. There's no sweat.
Awesome. Well, if you need me, you let me know, Lucas.
Yeah, of course.
These damn doors. These damn doors. He's a good patrol officer. Absolutely. I think Lucas has what it takes. That's not my car. That is my car? $354. Oh my God, it's not. Thank God. I was gonna say, what the fuck happened since I was God? Oh, thank God. Oh, we're free. We're free. Thank God. Oh my God. Jesus. Dispatch 125. Show me back in service. Breathe the fresh air. You know what it is sometimes not that I expect to catch this, but 125's a 22 actually. Fuck that. That man's doing like $150. White and color vehicle, southbound Elegant VCB UTL.
Do you have to leave for that?
I didn't clock him, but by the time I saw him, he was gone.
Yeah, there was a white and color four-door vehicle I was speeding around too. It was a Jeremy Anderson, I believe. I don't know. It might not be the same one, but.
Oh shit, what up? You good, buddy?
Hello, foot patrol, sir.
I don't blame you. You're looking great. You're doing great.
Littering tickets. I'm gonna ticket
Oh,
them all.
you get them. Illegal parking, you get them. You get them. But yeah, no, I ordered new belts, and I'm kind of excited. Actually, hey, really random question. What browser do you all use? I'm curious about something. Firefox, Google, Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Google, Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Edge, Firefox or Chrome, Firefox, Chrome, Firefox. A lot more Firefox than I expected. I feel like it's just me, but has Opera GX kind of blown up recently? A little bit? Am I wrong about that? I feel like Opera is like kind of blown up. I use Brave, which is essentially Chrome just without all the other bullshit. I fucking love Brave, but I will say, oh man. Opera feeling kind of scuffed. I mean, they advertise it as a gaming browser, which I think is so interesting, but I understand why. It's because they allow you to allot like how much energy you want from your computer put into a browser. Opera does what Chrome did years ago. What's that? Chrome eats the RAM but works well otherwise. Well, that's why I have Brave. So Brave, if you know Brave, you know. Ooh, that's a red light. What you doing with that red light?
I've stopped here, sir.
No. The red light before.
Do you want me to pull over, officer? So
No. What going on?
I thought it was green.
What color is it in front of us right now?
It's red right now, but back there I thought it was green. That's why I turned. And
I gotcha. Okay. Well, I did see it was red. I'm just gonna ask you to try and keep an eye out, okay?
yeah, okay, officer.
All right, brother. You take care.
My name and ID.
No, I'm not even gonna give you that much of a hassle. You just be careful, all right?
We can chat for a bit if you want.
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. My name's Flop, though. It's good to meet you.
130, 1041.
I'm 22. Hi, 130. I think I just had a stroke.
Did you just have a stroke?
I think I did. What just came out of my mouth? Oh my god. Like you wanted the ticket, right? Well, so I use Brave because Brave is Chromium, which if you don't know what Chromium is what Google Chrome uses. But Brave essentially just weeds out a lot of the tracking bullshit. It weeds out a lot of the bullshit that Chrome offers, but it runs so much better.
Dispatch show 4XD out with an illegally vehicle westbound for Spoochie Boulevard. It's going to be a sanitation truck.
Let me see if I can show you like Brave's whole thing. Not an ad or anything. I'm very curious because I've noticed as time has gone on, it was always like, oh, get rid of, Internet Explorer, get Chrome. Oh, get rid of Edge, get Chrome.
Dispatch 131 Foot Falcon 2038.
It was always like a thing. But the more I talk to people now, the more I feel like browsers have become a lot more what do you call it? I feel like browsers have become a lot more personalized. I found Edge less fucked than Chrome. Edge is really not a bad browser nowadays, but it's still fucked up in my opinion. Yeah, I mean the whole thing that they do though, I don't know if they essentially just kind of get rid of a lot of the third-party bullshit, which I kind of like, but I don't know. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Vlad. Thank you for being here because I have questions.
Ooh, perfect. Okay.
Okay, I've never experienced this before, so I don't know the answer. If someone, suspect in custody, and they are going to charge that suspect, and that suspect takes his bench trial. People get their statements in, the report gets submitted into evidence. Okay, bench trial is concluded. Is the report allowed to be edited after the report that are on our end in the MDT allowed to be edited after that situation?
I mean, I guess technically it could be, but it wouldn't. I guess the reason I'm saying that is because the trial is already going on. It doesn't matter what is added or changed because it's not going to be adhered or honored in court.
Correct. The counter to that is if they appeal the judge's verdict, whether that's to the Senate or to another judge, or I don't know the fucking process. I'm going to be honest. Like I said, this is all new to me. Is it okay that the report has been changed? So I'll give you my opinion on it first, and then
yeah.
So to me, this is my opinion, is that when you submit the report into evidence, it's exported. So whatever's on the report at the time is submitted into evidence. The report itself on the MDT is like our information. And when it comes to an appeal, if they want to appeal it at a later date again from the judge, the same evidence would be submitted via that exported document. And then if any additional evidence is going to be submitted, that would be the new updates to the report. And that is essentially what is given to the lawyer as far as when that gets put on the docket. Evidence is submitted and the continuation of that process goes. So if an officer later puts their statement into the report, I don't see that as a problem. But I don't actually know the answer to that. So to me, that seems normal and that seems okay. But I'm not a fucking judge or a lawyer, and I don't know.
I'm reading the legislation right now because I'm curious to know how they word it. I'm going to read this out loud. I haven't read it yet. I'm just going to read it out loud so we can hear it together.
Yeah, go ahead.
If the bench trial stems from a warrant, the defendant may request a bench review of the warrant. It's not a full trial, including questioning, but simply a judicial review of the veracity of the warrant. The judge will either dismiss the charges due to lack of probable cause stated in the warrant, or the defendant will be sent to jail and will be able to appeal the charges at a later date when the issuing officer is available. So the way that that is written, and the way that I'm taking that, is that the judge, if they're ruling in a bench trial, their judicial review is that probable cause is there. There's already probable cause. Now, let me read appeals, because this is where things get fun, because I've already been through an appeal, and I'll tell you right now, it is the dumbest shit ever. But let me see. Appeals. Every citizen has the right to appeal charges placed upon them unless a judicial power dismissed or adjourned a case with prejudice. Citizens have 30 days to appeal charges from the day the charge were placed against them, 15 days to appeal cases dismissed or adjourned without prejudice. Citizens may only appeal once, only 2 chances of judicial consideration regarding any cases available to citizens. Did a judge rule over the case?
Correct, and they went to a bench trial. So to me, they can't appeal that anymore, correct?
Strawberries right in front of Mosey's.
Let me.
But and I mean, in the past,
the question is, did they rule it with or without prejudice? Who was the judge?
I have no idea. I actually don't have those answers. I was just asked about.
Oh my god, I have to call Richard back.
The TLDR, Lucas, I'm sorry. I have to walk away for this one. I'm so sorry. TLDR is.
Was this the warrant that was put out?
No, this has nothing to do.
Okay.
Yesterday, Kit Archer approached me about a situation that had happened with herself, Suarez. Let me get you to get the incident up for it. Hold on. It's going to be incident 3387.
Incident 3387?
Correct.
Stand by.
High school unit 23, latest 38 Eastern
Okay.
Carson.
Okay.
Oh,
so the
Jesus.
incident was with Kit Archer, Bell, Suarez, and Buck. Kit approached me because she wanted to be transparent with the fact that during this altercation, there was someone in custody, and they were inside the lobby of MRPD. There was a lot of people inside the lobby of MRPD, so Suarez decided to take the suspect that was in custody outside of MRPD. Upon taking him outside of MRPD, the 3 suspects who have been since charged with second-degree murder were outside. An altercation occurred where one person said something to the other. The people who were charged with second-degree murder started essentially assaulting and beating the individual who was in custody in handcuffs, okay? Who we are responsible for. The altercation happened, and of course, Kit comes out, and she starts, the individuals are punching the suspect in custody. Kit takes out her baton, and she starts trying to beat the suspects that were charged with second-degree murder down.
Mm-hmm.
In that process, apparently, now she said that she obviously didn't intend to, and she didn't necessarily see that she did it. However, it is apparently in the suspects who were charged with second-degree murder statements that Kit had hit the suspect who is in custody with her baton. Again, she had no intentions to, but as we all know, when you start swinging that thing, you really don't have any fucking self-control. Let's be frank with each other. You don't. You can't really control necessarily how far you start swinging it or where it's going. So that was kind of the conversation that her and I had. And so she was telling me this, so I'm going to make a command report about it, but, because she doesn't know, what necessarily she wants. Again, transparency. She wanted to come forth that she might have hit the suspect who was in our custody, attempting to subdue the suspects who were assaulting the suspect in custody.
It sounds like a
That's
shit
here
show.
nor there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I mean, and then it comes down to why did Suarez opt to take someone outside of MRPD as opposed to taking them into the records room or into the dispatch room or into the
Yeah,
the
we
lunch
shouldn't.
room or no, let me go.
Hmm.
Sorry, I can't get in the car. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, goodbye. No, just I'll call you when I'm ready. And you know, all of those things, right? And
Active 80 with a BMX individual is going to be wearing.
yeah, I mean, so there's like a bajillion and one questions about the situation that need to be addressed, but not really because essentially it just needs to probably be a conversation with Suarez, like, you know, hey, if you're in the lobby of MRPD, you have a suspect and it's rowdy, and there aren't 77s available, take them into the like records room or something.
We
where you
have
can lock the
places
door.
to, yeah, we have places to safely contain people. Because I'll tell you right now, that Frederick Rowland guy has been known to beat up officers.
Yeah.
In the lobby of MRPD.
Yeah, those three guys are a menace to society. They just they do it every, you know, all the time. They're just wilding out there, and you know they're well known that this has been like a thing that's happening, right? Which is fine. Hindsight at this conversation, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, so then no, you're okay. So that situation happened. So she was telling me about it. So I opened the report, and the report they took it to the bench, and they were found. The suspects were found guilty for second-degree murder, so on and so forth. The report itself, when I was looking specifically for like officers involved to see like who the fuck was involved in the situation, to know, like, you know, who to contact to question it, so on and so forth. And that's when I noticed like the report wasn't really finished, right? There doesn't have all the officers that were involved in the bench trial. It doesn't include who the, like, in the civilians of like who the person was that, like, it says it in the title, like Donald Bush, the, I don't know, 69th, whatever the fuck his name is. But like the report wasn't finished. And that's what then brought up the conversation of, after a bench trial is done, you know, should officers be putting their statements in? Because, for example, they don't have to write any statement into this. They can testify on the stand. They don't have to write a statement in the report and submit it as evidence. When it comes to a bench trial, they can just testify on the stand. So should we be having officers then put their statement in after they testify? Should they be able to edit the report? And is for our, essentially our, like, records. Yes.
If a judge already ruled, I mean, I think maybe a timeline just to, you know, put in big text like separation, not evidence that was included during bench. I'm gonna ask you something though, because, and I promise you, I'm not steering away. I'm sort of adding into something that will make sense. So I asked you when you first called. I said, "Is this to do with the warrant?" There was a situation that came up the other day where a warrant was pushed for an arrest on somebody who was looking at a very heavy charge. I would have to go back and find out which report this was. But in big text on top of the warrant, it states, when suspect is in custody, interrogate and charge. So a captain, I don't know who, approved a warrant for somebody who was to be found and placed under arrest for a pretty heinous charge. I believe it was desecration of a human corpse, where an officer then got this person, secured the warrant. When they went through the report, had to interrogate this person, and it was a huge shit show. And the question became, you know, why was it the officer's responsibility? And the point that I made to one of the people that asked about it and approached me about it was, why was this warrant even approved? Because the
should have been a bolo, not a warrant.
Forget a bolo. You're bringing
someone in for questioning. That's what that, like, you're bringing someone in for questioning, not for an arrest.
Yeah. The issue though that I see is a warrant for someone's arrest is that you have all the probable cause that you need.
Correct.
The report is done. Your evidence is now exceeded. Now you have enough. But to put a warrant out and state that you need to also interrogate upon arrest is one of the most mind-boggling things I have seen and should not be happening. And the reason I bring this up, and again, the whole tie-in I have with this, big charges, second-degree murder is being rushed. And I think officers need to be reminded and just kind of smacked over the head. If someone requests a bench trial and you don't have all of your evidence, you can deny that fucking bench trial. And you could tell them, we don't have all the evidence. At the moment, we have some of the evidence enough to charge you, but we don't have all statements from officers. Not all officers can be available. Appeal it on the docket. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I okay, and that you're right. And I did have that conversation with Kit, is that, you know, small things like making sure the appropriate officers are on the report is like such a, like, it takes like 5 seconds to do. Someone who is in charge of whatever the situation needs to just be responsible for that, as like making sure the report is filled out appropriately.
Shit.
You know,
okay.
like, no. I was just was just
No.
pausing my thought.
You're fine. As soon as you paused, I heard someone say shots fired on radio, but it was just a local.
Okay.
You're good.
I turned the radio off. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
But no, on that too, on that aspect, is that, and this comes down to when someone requests a bench trial, you know, officers are scrambling to get statements in and this, that, and the other. How long do we sit there? Like, I had a bench trial at this point, it's been a couple months now, where I felt bad because the judge was like waiting, but at the same time, like, you know, I have to get my statement in, 20 other people have to get their statements in, we have to make sure the report's filled out, we have to make sure that like all the evidence is submitted. Like, it's a long process in that process to a bench trial. Sometimes it takes us 2 hours to get all of that information in, to be actively, the report be done and ready, right? And so now it comes to it, you know, okay, so we decline a bench trial because we don't have a report filled out. Is that against like the rights to say like, no, we won't offer you a bench trial because we don't have the report ready? We have enough evidence to charge you, but we don't have everything set in stone for a trial.
I will confirm with a judge and or a lawyer. I'll call Xavier real quick just to get confirmation from him.
Sure.
But if all the evidence is not in the report and we don't have all the evidence to put together a bench trial, they should be charged and they should be appealing it at a later time, because they have 30 days. And at least at that point, you have the PC for the arrest. The primary officers are there. And at that point, sorry, I'm listening to, hold on. I'm gonna turn my radio off. If you have enough to push the charge and now you just need to get all your evidence, then yeah, as long as you have, you know, evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to charge it at that time, great. But if not all the officers have their statements in, that could be prudent to the defense of a case. I mean, at that point, we're kind of just kneecapping ourselves at that point.
Yeah, and again, then that's the question. If those officers are going to testify, they're going to give their statement. But an officer who's testifying can't give a narrative. They have to be questioned. Well, actually, I had one bench trial where where people were allowed to give a narrative, and because it was a bench trial, because it's something that's like a quick process versus like an actual trial. You have a lawyer that prepares questions and for, you know, with answers and so on and so forth for like a testifying thing, versus a bench trial. They allowed narratives because it's something quick and there isn't time to prepare for that. But then I also had another judge not allow a narrative for prosecution, and then they only allowed a narrative for defense. And then afterwards I did question about it because Gatsby allowed narrative, and Callow, I think, was the one, I think it's who said no to narrative. But then then I questioned him after the case, and I said, you know, I didn't want to ask like anything prior, but Judge Gatsby allowed for narrative, and you know, what is made this situation different. And then he said, well, he was a newer judge when it came to taking on bench trials, and you know, he would speak to Gatsby about it and kind of, you know, adjust from there, and that he felt like he probably maybe made the wrong call on something like that. But long story short, you know, you're able to give a narrative on the situation, which is essentially your statement, right? And again, that is taken in as evidence. You're not necessarily like writing it down. So it all comes back to, can we edit a report on our end to include, like, as you know, because of course we expect officers to have their statements and reports. Somebody goes and testifies their statement instead of writing
Sorry,
a
Chad,
report,
this is a lot.
because let's say they just didn't have enough time before the trial,
Appreciate you, dudes.
and you know, they write it in after for the fact that they simply need to finish the report. Which way is acceptable?
Yeah, I'm gonna call Xavier real quick, and I'll call you right back. I want to hear his input on this, because I do think getting a second opinion on this is good.
I agree.
And
we either need a lawyer or a judge to clarify what is acceptable as far as filling out a report after a situation, for sure.
Let me call and clarify that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Flop.
Hey, Xavier, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh my God, today's been. You know what it is? Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
I see. We lost the trifecta.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm here, still kicking.
All right.
So I'm not ditching you. I feel like at this point it needs to be followed through, and I would never leave you in the dust like that.
I appreciate that.
I have a question though about something unrelated.
Yes.
So, an officer goes to bench trial. I'm gonna ask you this question first, so I don't conflict you by accident.
Yeah.
Are you representing Frederick Rowland in anything currently?
No.
Okay. So there's an incident where individuals were charged with a very, very heavy charge. A very heavy charge.
Second-degree murder.
Yeah, so you're aware of it.
I was the lawyer on the bench trial.
Okay.
I was defending them on that.
Okay.
I don't mind keeping this in confidence. If you have a question, like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I can ask this. Can they appeal a bench trial and essentially appeal a judge ruling?
Yes, they can.
Okay. In saying that, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm not involved with this, but I'm going to ask you this question. Do you intend on following through with an appeal?
I don't think they give a shit enough to follow through with an appeal.
Okay.
But they were wrongly convicted.
Okay.
He should have been convicted of manslaughter. And probably not convicted at all.
I'm not. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say the only reason I say not convicted at all is because of the medical report, and the medical report indicating that the cause of death was a brain bleed with a large gash and a fractured skull on the back side of the head. And the only place where fist marks are noted in that report are on the front of the face, which I find it somewhat hard to believe that caused the brain bleed. Now, the argument can be made that, had they not attacked this guy, then the police went to hit him with, something like that.
Yeah. We kind of fall down that little rabbit hole.
Right. So, and that's what Murphy argued. But as far as I understand, root cause has never been established in this state. So that seemed weird for a bench trial.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this question, and again, I'm gonna tread very lightly with how I ask this. So, for starters, if officers in a situation do not have all the evidence and statements that they need to have something go to trial, they can obviously tell them to appeal it on the docket so we can have all of our evidence in one place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since a ruling happened and the process for an appeal is open, is the police department still allowed? Because I've never dealt with this, but is the police department still allowed at any point to add in new information, whether that be a statement or whether that be, right?
That's what we did in the Murphy Brown case. You guys added evidence.
For an appeal, though?
Think about the Murphy Braun. You guys took the interrogation of GP. You added it to evidence in the appeal. That's yet both sides can add evidence. And if there's evidence that's found, right, that is exculpatory, even though we don't have Brady, read the evidence tampering law once.
Yeah, let me take a look. The reason why I'm asking is,
go ahead.
If officers were late to, I guess, apply their statements, right? They're still okay to add that statement, or do they have to wait for the appeal to be on the docket to include new evidence? Like, do they have to submit new evidence, or can they just add it to the initial report?
Because, in my opinion, because they were convicted on that report,
with that evidence,
I would not modify that report. That report should effectively be locked. Right? Because that is a point in time in which they were convicted for that.
This
I would
is
say you should.
Kind of my thought process too.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not cutting you off. I sort of agree with you.
Right. So what would happen is you post on the docket, and then you would make a motion to add new evidence, and you'd add a statement to it. You'd never modify the original.
Yeah. The way that I see it, and this is the way that I view a bench trial, when you export that report and submit it, you are essentially, that's like a signature at the bottom of a contract. You're essentially finalizing that as like, that is what we are going with.
Yeah.
I will be honest though, I'm shocked second-degree murder trial went to a fucking bench. I have my own opinions about that. I do think that in a situation where a heinous big charge like that is being pushed, I do think that from all sides, to dot I's and cross T's, I feel like a bench trial in that regard is, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I was surprised to hear that went to a bench trial. You know what I'm saying?
I only took it to bench because it was very simple, and it was very clear to me that they would not be charged with second.
Yo, Power, thank you for the prime. I appreciate
first of all, when we requested the bench trial, they were facing manslaughter. They upped the charges after we requested the bench trial.
I mean, I'm gonna say that I've altered charges too on the way to bench. It's technically not illegal, but it's a little fucky if it's not, in my opinion, at least disclosed to the defense.
No, it was disclosed. We were told.
Okay.
But I mean, that was after the point we already requested the bench trial.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, but we assumed we were going for manslaughter, and then we were told we were going for murder. Then we went for murder. Then we found out that the 2 possession charges, in both cases, the police seized the money and gave it back to them.
They seized evidence and gave it back?
So if you look at the records, like they were in, like both Francis and Lorenzo were arrested. They were at MRPD to pick up their shit. And when they got their shit back, their marked G6 bills came with them. Now, in Lorenzo's case, he was charged with that. So this was actual double jeopardy. He had been charged and was getting a second charge for the same thing. In the case of...
Wait, so the officers didn't seize...
They charged him for it, and they did not seize the bills.
You know who his arresting officer was?
Don't know. It was that big case where you got shot in the head. That's the case they didn't take the money from him on. Or the loan or whatever it was.
Okay. I'm going to say that we tread lightly. And by we, I mean, I don't want to conflict the idea of an appeal go through. I was looking for clerical. Unfortunately, the limitation of lawyers around this hour are very rough. So
No, well, you're not conflicting anything because look at it this way. You're the prosecution. I'm the defense.
I'm not even the prosecution. I'm just a bystander hearing the information.
Well,
you know what I mean?
What I'm saying is you work for the police department. So
Sure.
in all essence, you are the prosecution.
Of course.
So, I mean, I don't think there's a conflict, is what I'm saying. If that's what you're worried about.
Okay, I wanted to
This
just
is the
tread
defense
lightly
and the
just...
prosecution talking, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. I try and tread lightly with stuff like that, especially when I'm not involved. I don't want to give out information or take in information. Especially for me right now as an unbiased party, because I wasn't there, so I'm more looking for information. But I will keep that in mind. I was just curious because I'm hearing this obviously secondhand, so I'm kind of just trying to get both sides.
A little bit. So here's what I would say. Like, just so you know, I mean, I was in that trial. That trial was not fair. That trial was a disaster. That trial was a complete shit show. You know those three, right? Those three guys. Let me ask you something. Do they seem like the type of people that would ever file a complaint?
Against an officer?
Against anyone?
Off the record, I could tell you that they have... A lot of them, that group specifically, Roland has asked for my badge number and asked for multiple officers' badge numbers.
Has he ever filed a report?
He's attempted to, yeah.
Wait, really? Actually?
Yeah, he actually has.
Okay, maybe I'm crazy because, well, in this case, they wanted to file a complaint against the judge.
Interesting. Okay.
No, but here's the thing. I agree with them. I made a deal with them, Flop. You know how they actually listen to me, and I'm probably the only person that they actually listen to?
Please indulge me, because he hate my guts. And apparently my skull. and my lung.
Yeah. I'm working on that with them. I promise. I really am. But yeah, so I made a deal with them before we went to court. They were all, I am not kidding you when I said they were all on their best behavior.
Okay.
They maybe spoke up 2 times the entire trial. Like, those are not quiet people. And they were perfectly quiet.
Yeah.
During the trial, okay? And I'm telling you this because I want you to understand this from my side, because I got a call from an officer, Belle, and Belle and I have a lot of respect for each other, first of all. And she wanted to know, like, was I mad at her? I was like, why the fuck would I be mad at you? I do not care whether I win or lose in court. It's fine. I always give it my all. But I told her, I said, I'm not mad at you at all. That trial was not right.
Yeah.
It was very biased. And I don't say that about a trial ever. I've not, in my time in the city, seen a biased trial. That was a biased trial.
Yeah. I can get that.
To the point where I asked to add demonstrable evidence from the Bobby and Timo trial, where police were using batons showing like how wide the swing is, and was denied. And then after like 3 questions about batons, my first 3 questions of the entire case, Murphy suggested that I go into mutual combat with an officer and allow them to baton me to demonstrate it for him.
Yeah, you know, I'm so glad we have a judge available at these hours. But if that were me, I would have gotten contempt.
I literally said to him, so to help add reasonable doubt to my case, I'm making a perfect valiant argument. And by the way, Suarez, I'm not exactly happy with him.
I'm going to say something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
They say that the bleeding started from the blunt force to the back of the head, right?
Yeah.
Why would Murphy would essentially be putting you up for regard for attempted murder, right? Would he not?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think that one was thought through very, very, very
Not
far.
to mention that the mutual combat law does not allow you to use weapons.
You-
You realize that?
yeah, he fucked up.
And he also quoted on the stand that second degree murder did not have the requirement for intent flop.
I mean, listen, I'm a third party in this. I'm a bystander. You follow through what you need to follow through.
It's already been done. I filed the bar complaint, and I'm going to be honest, Flop. I need to talk to you about something else. Hold on. Give me a second. I have to move my truck. Siobhan is moving me.
Okay.
Let go of me. Yeah, I'm going.
Really quick, just so you're aware, I finally got around to, forgive me, I've been with everything, especially the situation involving the captain. I finally submitted the phone subpoena for Abilene. I think you're right. I think we should follow through with this. And I think we should just make sure that it's very clear that, you know, we do have reason to believe that this gun could have been planted. I'm not going to go in there and you know, stand on the idea that we are 1,000,000% correct on this has to be her gun. It was in her possession. But I'll be honest on the stand and say, do I think that she did it, you know, with reasonable intent to harm? No. She shot her bullet into the side of a mountain. So.
Yep.
But anyway,
so
what do you got?
I'm going to tell you this because I trust you, and this has nothing to do with anything other than me. So I put in a bar complaint against Murphy.
Okay.
I expect that will be followed through. I shared the write-up of my bar complaint with Siobhan just because I wanted to get her opinion on it. Being a former judge and, you know, such, and she's no longer a lawyer, so it doesn't really matter if she sees it before. And I also fired Murphy as a client.
Oh.
But I am considering joining the police department.
Holy shit. Okay. I was not seeing that coming. That just came out of left field. Okay. I'm all ears.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to be in court all the time with Murphy. And I understand it could happen even as a cop, obviously. But it's going to happen a whole hell of a lot more as a lawyer. And I'm just not sure that I even want to go down that road again.
The police department is a shit show. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of drama. It's a lot of high school bullshit. I'm going to be the first to tell you.
All right.
My only takeaway to you is if you are willing to understand that for the remainder of your time getting hired and trained is a lot of bullshit and a lot of, we'll call it dick swinging, I think is a nice way of putting it. There's going to be a lot of people trying to, you know, be above in a way, right? Chain of command and shit. As long as you are aware of those things and understand that the process is currently still a little janky, it's not perfect, but it is getting better, then I say go for it. I think you would be a great officer. I think you'd be a great asset. I think you're very well spoken, and I'm going to let you know a lot of people are going to be coming to you with questions regardless of you being, you know, in the Peter or not, because they'll know you as a very good lawyer.
Well, I'm not opposed to, by the way, like, I'm not opposed to being a legal expert. I'm not going to stop learning law. I'm not
How
going
you
to
doing?
stop helping you guys prosecute big cases. Like, I'm perfectly content and happy to keep my bar and to help you guys prosecute shit like that. And deal with that kind of stuff and handle those kind of questions.
Hold on.
from within.
Hey! Slow the fuck down! Dude just came flying out of the goddamn woods. He's doing $130. I can't keep up with this dumbass. Anyway, I tried to megaphone him. It didn't work.
Oh, damn.
Go ahead.
So that's what I'm thinking right now. I mean, I don't know. Siobhan tells me don't do it. Don't do it. I know that there's opportunity for me in the DOJ in the sense that, you know, I can make a head of bar run or something like that. And that's obviously a pretty unique position, but I don't know, man. I'm just what I saw shook me at my core.
No, definitely. I mean, I don't blame you. It would shake me as well, to be honest. I will say this regarding Siobhan, and I say this completely as a neutral between you and I, but Siobhan was involved in the police continuity legislation, as I think most people are aware.
Mm-hmm.
She already does have a built bias on the idea of the PD sort of being incompetent, which is okay. I understand that she is a part of trying to help change that and trying to help improve it with the push for a commissioner. So I don't hold her accountable or at fault for any of that, having that feeling. It makes sense.
I think they ditched the commissioner thing, right?
Yeah, they did. I think.
They're on the chief of police thing now.
I was going to say chief of police kind of came in, and I think based on the way that the announcement was written for us, it looks like Max chose this person. So I would imagine that that's sort of the same mindset of where the commissioner idea was. But they made this push for this to happen. And the way that I see it is Siobhan's going to be very biased, respectfully so, toward the idea that PD is, you know, in a hard shell right now. And obviously I'm going to be more biased in the idea that the PD, while it is also a little bit maybe in its own shell sometimes, we're making drastic improvements. And I think you would be an amazing asset to the PD. The hiring process is a little bit of a pain right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever do want to consider it, I guess I'll ask you, what shifts would you be looking at? Would you be looking around these hours? Maybe, you know...
preferably shift 2, probably. I
Okay.
mean, you know me, first of all. I'm around from shift 1 to shift 3. So...
Yeah, you kind of crazy.
You know,
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I'm basically a Cornwood.
You're the DOJ's Cornwood.
Yeah, exactly.
Proud of you.
So,
I don't know if that's something to be prideful in, but, you know, hey.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But, I mean... you know, I had a good talk with Cornwood. I even had a good talk with Barrick. And now I talk to you. And if I'm being honest, those are the 3 officers that I respect most in the PD. And you guys have the most say in like what I give a shit about.
Sure.
Here, if I'm being honest. Like you guys have been in my working with you, you are the 3 most reasonable, level-headed officers, period.
I try and keep it that way.
Yeah. Not to shit on any other officers at all. I'm just, you guys are the best. That's my opinion.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, so yeah. I'm definitely interested. I need to figure a couple things out. And I want to, so do you know when the next academy even is?
It's coming up pretty soon, I think. I think we're working toward it. I already have a list of people I have to interview and talk to.
Okay.
So I don't know if you would make this one, but if you were to put in your interest and you want someone who would vouch, you have a heavy vouch for me.
Okay. It sounded like I had a vouch from Barrick, and I think that's probably pretty good too.
Listen, I don't believe in the paper bullshit. The idea that just because it says it on paper means anything. But I think right now, to say Chief of Police Barrick Johnson recommends you, I feel like might hold some weight.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would hope so. But
otherwise, it sounds like it's kind of the same system.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope it means something. I mean, think he's gonna carte blanche, be like, no, you must X, Y, Z or anything like that. Doesn't seem like Barrick style, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, no, and Cornwood also said like he said he would, he would be in support as well, which I don't know how much that carries because I know he got in trouble, but.
The thing with Cornwood is while, yeah, he had his moments. Cornwood is still one of my favorite people to talk to because him and I have some of the most well-spoken, reasonable conversations out of anybody in the PD. Sometimes Cornwood is very brute force, but every once in a while I will reel him back in and say, hey, listen, I know it's easy to kick the door down here, but did you try talking to the person? Or, hey, I know you want to kick the door down, but did you think about maybe just letting this rest for a night, thinking it over? And usually outside of those things, we have very reasonable, open conversations. So Cornwood, I think, is a reasonable person to talk to with stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's just so like Cornwood gave me the. I mean, you know how Cornwood is. We had a conversation about this. So first of all, probably it's probably a 45-minute conversation at least.
Sure.
But like we talked about like, why, because he gave me the reasons why I should stay being a lawyer. I then essentially explained the whole Murphy thing that happened at trial. Because, like I said, man, like I can honestly say I've never been like, I'm going to use a Siobhan term for this. I've never been stun locked after court.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me. And that's exactly what happened to me. I quite literally wanted to just go hand lance my bar and be like, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, listen, I think whatever you choose, I will support you through.
I appreciate that.
I think I think it holds weight and holds value.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut.
We gotta get this Ruth thing done first.
Yeah, I haven't seen Turner in 2 days. I'm hoping we get to see him soon. Give me some time. As soon as I see him, I will let you know, and we'll go from there. It probably won't be tonight, but let's aim for tomorrow. And at worst, I'll email you and just let you know, hey, this is what's going on. I'll even try and schedule something if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then, do you know, are you appointing somebody else to take Barrick's place, or what's your plan for that?
Sounds like it might just be us.
Okay, I can be fine with that. I don't. That's a big deal.
Yeah. We'll kind of see what happens and go from there.
Where things are going right now, I think we already talked about it, right? Like, I don't think the treason is holding much weight. We'll see what Turner says.
Yeah.
But, the other one, maybe, but it sounds even like a stretch, but it might be worth pushing. I don't know. It just depends on it depends on how Turner responds, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. And then we'll get to Captain Ruth hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But
so, did you, I heard that she resigned.
She what?
Oh shit! You didn't hear this?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Fill in some gaps. I'm kind of curious.
Oh,
What?
That's all I know. That she resigned her position with the police.
Who said that?
Eric.
Barrick said that?
Yeah. I think he said it to Cornwood, but I was standing right there when he said it.
I was not informed of this. Which is okay, but at the same time, I feel like, correct me if I'm fucking wrong, I feel like being the one spearheading this investigation with you, I feel like I should have been probably made fucking aware of that by the guy who was helping me with the goddamn case.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I think, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say maybe Barrick thought he already told you. Or maybe he thought, I don't know. That's weird. Why wouldn't he tell you that?
I'll bring it up with him and ask him real quick. Let me call Barrick and try and get some information on that. You're good. You're fine. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna ask him. Listen, I don't care if that's the case. I just need to know, so I know where we're going with this investigation. That's all.
Yeah, I
don't think it'll change anything because everything she did was acting upon while she was under oath.
Correct.
So
yeah, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I just want to know kind of what the result of per se. So, but
okay,
I will. I'll be in touch. Obviously, I'll call you,
All right.
and we'll kind of go from there.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm probably heading to bed pretty quick here, but you take it easy, and I'll be